So, Leslie, may I request you to lead us in prayer first?
Kita mo magdala ito yung siyempre tirahe. Kita ang dikit sa kawayan. Ito lang at ipagpapatayan ka ng matuo.
Leslie.
Unang ko dahil tapos wang. Dahil tapos siyempre mo agad.
Thank you for this day.
Kung baka di ka lang picture lang siguro.
Okay na? So in Jesus' name, amen. Ayan. So last Monday, we didn't see each other kasi it is, hindi pala Monday, sorry. Tuesday. So last Tuesday, due to my internet connection, we're not able to meet again. So I just posted a video for our lesson. So today, we're going to discuss, ayan, so i-mute ko muna kayo para, ano?
Next time, ate, next time po. Ay, next time rin po, ate.
Maingay sa kanila, Blessy. Ayan. So, where is that na? So, our lesson is all about factoring. So, when we say factoring, ayan. So, in your grade 7 math, the operation of polynomial has been discussed thoroughly in respective math classes. So, those topics needed are prerequisite knowledge. So, kung hindi mo naintindihan si multiplication or the operation of polynomials, we have the addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division of polynomials. Therefore, hindi mo masyadong maiintindihan ang lesson natin dahil it is a prerequisite knowledge dapat siya to achieve better understanding of the next lesson, which is factoring. So in connection with this, a multiplication of polynomials will always be used as a counterpart in checking their factors. So parang kabaliktaran lang siya ng multiplication. So factoring, kabaliktaran ng multiplication. So in this chapter, you will discover how to find the factors of algebraic expressions. As you get along with the lesson, you will encounter different activities that will develop your skills on how algebraic expression will be factored. So our lesson last week is about factoring monomials. So we have here Mr. Cruz would like to renovate the floor tiles in his square-shaped house with an area of 64 square meters. So ito yung mga tanong. What is the possible dimension of the floor area of his house? Which among your listed factors can give you the square floor area? If the dimensions of the floor area is 8 meters by 8 meters, how many 40 centimeters by 40 centimeter tiles will be used? And if each tile is 65 pesos, how much should he spend on renovating his floor tiles? So look for factors of 64. So when kapag sinabing factor, ano yung dalawang numbers na kapag minultiply mo, it will give you the number 64. So we have 1 times 64, that is 64. 2 times 64, 2 times 32, that will give you also 64, tama? So these are the possible factors. So also 4 times 16, that will also give you 64. And 8 times 8 is also equal to 64. So square has the same side measure. So anong gagamitin natin? So we can use 8 meters by 8 meters kasi ang square naman natin is same-sided figure. So 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeter. Therefore, yung 8 meters na yan, magiging equivalent siya sa 800 centimeter. So ang tanong niya kanina, ayan, so what are the possible dimension of the floor area of his house and which among you listed factors can give you a square floor area? So nasagot na natin siya, yung 8 by 8 meters. So tanong niya naman, if the dimension of the floor area is 8 meters by 8 meters, ilan naman daw na 40 centimeter by 40 centimeter? So convert natin si meter into centimeter. So kung meron tayong 1 meter, kung sa 1 meter ay meron tayong 100 centimeter, convert lang natin, dagdagan lang natin ng 2 zeros, magiging 800 centimeter. So yung 800 centimeter na yan, ang hinahanap lang natin is si 40 by 40 tiles. So ilang 40 by 40 tiles daw sa isang 800 meters. So if we divide it, so yan, of the floor. So if we divide it, 800 divided by 40, that will give us 20 each side. So thus, it is a square. So 20 by 20 is equal to 400 floor tiles. So kapag ang square naman natin, di ba, it is same-sided figure. Therefore, 20, yung isang side times 20, that will give us the area 400. Di ba? Ayan. So we will be, Mr. Cruz will be using 400 for floor tiles. So each tile costs 65. So i-multiply na lang natin. 45 times 65. That will give us 26,000. Ayan. So let's try to explore algebraic tiles. So look at the figure below. What is the area of each rectangle? So how many different sets of rectangles can you form with an area of 12 square units? So we have here, this is the first, second, this is only one pala, I should say. So one square unit, ayun pala unit, I should say. So 12 square units, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Ayan, tama. And this is 4 by 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That is the square unit of this. So what is the possible dimension of a rectangle whose area is 12a squared? So to cut the explanation shorter, ganito lang ang natin. So to factor a monomial, find two monomials whose product is the given monomial. Ulitin ko lang. To factor a monomial, find two monomials whose product is a given monomial. So for example, in multiplication, di ba ganito? So di ba in multiplication, kung meron tayong 3a, multiply it by 4a. Ang gagawin natin dito is to multiply the numerical coefficient, which is 3 times 4. That will give us the answer 12. And then just copy the variables and then sum the exponents of the variable. So, kung meron tayong a, what is the exponent of it? So, meron lang tayong 1. So, 1 plus 1, that will give us the answer squared or 2. Therefore, our answer would become 12a squared. So in factoring, itong answer natin ay hahanapin natin yung kabaliktaran niya. So kung ano yung factor niya. So that is the term, factor. So let's try. So 12a squared, let's try to factor. Ano ba yung pwedeng factor ni 12? Ang factor ni 12 ay, it can be 1 times 12. Ano pa? Chain. Can you give an example, one factor of 12? Chain? Chain? Balikan kita, Shane. So let's try Chloe. Can you give one factor of 12?
2 times 6.
2 times 6? Yes. How about Shane? Shane? Anong pwedeng factor pa ni 12? Ano?
2.
Ha? Blessy. Ano pa yung pwedeng factor ni 12?
Sir.
Ha? We have 3 times
3.
3? 3 times 3?
3 times 4.
4. So meron pa ba? Meron pa bang iba?
3 times 4.
Ano pa yung, pwede sa 12? So, di ba ito lang?
Wala na.
Kasi pag 4, pataas wala naman na. Wala naman na magiging answer ng 12. So, therefore, these are the possible list of factors of 12a squared. So, yung a na to, ay try natin to factor out. Ano yung pwede maging factor ni a? Pwedeng maging ano ba? Di ba? A times A lang naman yan. Kasi dalawang A lang naman. Or pwede rin na 1 times A squared. So these are the possible lang naman ni na factor ni A squared. Therefore, kung titignan natin kanina, we can use ulit the 3/4. We can use naman 1/12. So here are the possible factors of 12a squared. So number 1, we have 1 times 12a squared. Tama? Siya pa rin ba? So 1 times 12a squared. Siya pa rin. Second one, we can write it as 12 times a squared. Pares pa rin? 12a squared pa din? So third one, we can use 2. So 2a times 6a. So if you multiply it, magiging 12a squared pa din. Next. So marami. So there are a lot of possible factors sa iisa pa lang na monomial. Or I should say, sa isa pa lang na algebraic expression. So you can also write 3a times 4a. Diba? Pares pa rin sila. 12a squared pa din. Or pwede rin naman na number 5. 3 times 4a squared. Same. So, it is up to you on what are you going to use na factor ni 12a squared. So, all of these answers are considered tama. So, as long as it is factored out, naihiwalay siya, nakuha. So, as you can see, if you multiply these factors, ang kakalabasan pa rin niya is si 12A. Therefore, it is all of these are factors. Nakuha? Ayan. So, yes, sir. Ayan. So, let's go back now. So, the factor, each is called a factorization of 12A. So, ayan, yung mga nilist natin kanina, all of these are possible factors. So, pwedeng negative, 2 times negative 6 is equal to 12A squared pa din naman. Di ba? So, in checking, i-multiply mo lang siya. So, notice that the counterpart of factoring is multiplication. It is also necessary that mastery of the rules of integers and laws of exponent is applied. Ulit, try natin to recap. Positive times positive. The answer is? Anyone?
Sir.
Positive times positive.
Negative.
Ha?
Ay, positive.
So, dapat master nyo to. Ayan. So, positive multiplied to positive. The answer is? Ano?
Positive.
Positive pa rin. How about negative times negative? So, what is negative?
Negative.
Oh, are you sure? It is always positive. How about the pag?
Positive.
Negative. How about for division? We have positive divided by positive. The answer is? So, positive divided by positive.
Negative.
That is always positive.
Oh,
Negative divided by negative is always ano?
negative. Ay, positive.
Positive pa rin. So, ito yung rule natin. So, always remember this. Mali. Ayan. So, always remember this. USN, LSP. USN, LSP. So, this is for division and multiplication of integers. So, na-apply natin siya into division and multiplication. So, USN stands for unlike sign, always negative. So, ito namang LSP, like sign, always positive. So, always na yan. Medyo nagbabago. USN, so, wag lang si USB yung i-memorize. Meron na si USN, which is unlike sign, it is negative. Like sign, it is positive. So, kapag sinabing positive divided by positive, the answer is? Ayan, sige. So, positive divided by positive, the answer is always, so applying this rule,
Positive.
positive. How about negative divided by negative, the answer is? Positive pa rin. How about kapag positive times positive, the answer is? Positive. Negative times negative, that is positive. So ito yung tinatawag natin na alike signs. How about for unlike sign? Kapag unlike sign naman, for example, ganito. Basta magkaiba na siya. For example, negative times positive. Always, ang sagot natin yan is negative. So, positive times negative, that is negative. Positive divided by negative, that is always negative. And negative divided by positive, that is always negative. So, master this rule kasi we will be using these rules in factoring. Ayan. So, always use USN kapag magkaiba yung sign. For example, is positive and then multiplied to negative, that is always negative. And kapag parehas sila ng sign, that is always positive. So, let's try. Negative 2 times negative 2. Just tell me if it is positive or negative. So, just tell me if it is positive or negative. Negative times negative, that is positive. So, how about positive 2 times negative 2? That is negative. Basta kung merong magkaiba na sign, that is always negative. So, try to master that rule in integers. Ayan. So, the following are the examples of prime factors. So, when we say prime factors or prime numbers, anong prime numbers? It is only, you can only multiply it by itself and 1. So, yun lang yung factor niya. For example, is 1. 1 times 1 is always 1. 2, hindi na siya pwedeng i-factor. That is 2 times 1 na lang ang factor niya. Also 3, ayan mga yan, 5, 7. Ang 9 hindi pwede kasi hindi siya prime factor kasi 3 times 3 pwede siya. Diba? It is equal to 9. 15 is not a prime number also kasi meron tayong 3 times 5. So basta ang numbers na itself and 1 lang yung prime factors natin. Ayan. So, Chloe, I already sent the PDF file of our module in your email. Nakita mo na?
Hindi pa po.
Try to check. I already sent it using SMSI AR2Kai. Doon ko sinend dun sa binigay mo. Ayan. So, try example number 1. List all possible factors of 20x raised to 4. So, yung 20 na yan, ito yung mga pwedeng factors niya. So, 1, we have negative 1, 2, negative 2, 4, negative 4. Kasi negative 4 times negative 5 is positive 20. 10 times 2 is positive 20. So, lahat ng naisulat mo na yan, it is a factor of this algebraic expression. So, find the factors of negative 6x raised to 5. So, rule of integer, ayan o. So, negative times positive, it is always negative. So, negative siya, kaya negative 1, positive 1 times negative 6, or it can be negative 1 times positive 6. That is always negative 6. So, 3 times negative 2, that is 6 pa din. Then, negative 3 times 2 is negative 6 pa din. So, factors of x raised to 5, pwedeng x raised to 4 times x raised to 2 times x raised to 3, or pwedeng pabaliktad. So, remember, factoring is the counterpart of multiplying. To factor an expression is to write an equivalent expression that is a product of 2 or more expression, and any polynomial that cannot be written as the product of 2 other polynomial except 1 and negative 1 is said to be prime. So a polynomial is said to be factored completely when it has been written as a product consisting of prime factors. So when we say prime factors ulit, it is multiplicable by negative 1 or 1 na lang. For example, is 2. So hindi mo na pwedeng i-factor. Ayan. So we also have the factoring terms with a common factor. So where do they belong? Find the general category of each description. So to cut the discussion short, dito na tayo kaagad. So we have an example number 1. Find the greatest common factor of 24x raised to 4 and 16x raised x cubed y squared. So you can use listing method. So in listing method, yung sample natin. And sulat ko muna. So in listing method, di ba meron tayong 24 x raised to 4 and 16 x cubed y squared. Ayan. So let's try to get the the GCF or the greatest common factor. So 24x raised to 4. Try to factor muna natin. So 24 and 16. So anong factor na 24?
12 divided by 2.
Or 12 times 2. So si 12 hindi pa siya factor. Tama? Ay, hindi pa siya prime, I should say. Therefore, we can factor it out pa. Kaya magiging 6 times 2. And si 6, meron pa siyang pwedeng factor. We have 3 times 2. So si 3 ba meron pang factor? Na iba? Wala na. Therefore, ang factor ni 24 ay, isulat mo lang lahat ng dulo, 2, 2, 2, and 3. Therefore, si 24, ang factor niya is 2 times 2 times 3 times 2 ulit. How about si 16? 2 times mali. 2 times 8 pala. Tama? 8 times 8 is 16. And the factor of 8 also is 4 times 2. And we also have 4 can be factored out into 2 times 2. Then write all the factored number or prime numbers. We have 2, 2, 2, and 2. Therefore, 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So sa checking, ganito lang siya. 2 times 2 is 4. Times 3 is 12. Tama? 4 times 3 is 12. Times 3 is 24. Ganun lang siya. And ngayon naman, write all the variables. So kung meron tayong x raised to 4, ilan ang x natin? 4 din. Dito naman, x cube, meron tayong 3x. And we have 2y. Therefore, pagkatapos mong kunin yung factor niya, we can now get the GCF or the greatest common factor. So the greatest common factor of 24x raised to 4 and 6x raised to 3y squared is, so kunin mo lang, pagtapat-tapatin mo, kunin mo si 2, pwede ulit si 2, pwede ulit si 2. So si 3 and 2 hindi na siya kasi hindi na sila parehas. How about x and x? Tama? X and x, x and x. Si x na isa wala nang kapartner sa baba. Si y walang kapartner sa taas. Therefore, ito na yon. Then list all of the factors na. So 2 times 2 times 2. So 2 times 2 times 2 times x times x times x. So i-finalize na natin. 2 times 2 times 2. So 2 times 2 is 4. Tama?
4.
Times 2. 6. So 4 times 2 is 8. Then copy the variable x raised to 1, 2, 3. So ito na yung tinatawag natin na GCF or the greatest common factor. So tapos na ba tayo? Yes, kasi ang hinahanap niya lang naman is the greatest common factor. Ayan. So, the greatest common factor of 24 and 16 is 8. There is no y. Kaya, kukunin lang natin. Ayan, parang kanina. So, there is an x in each term. And 3 is the smallest exponent of x. Therefore, the greatest common factor of this one is 8x cubed. Ayan, so find the greatest common factor. Basta ganun lang. Yung pagkuha. We have 72a squared b squared. And we also have 120. So ganito lang ulit yung process na gawin to get the greatest common factor. And so, in your module, marami examples dyan. And so factor out the greatest common factor of x, 3x plus 12. So let's try this example naman. 3x plus 12. So we have 3x plus 12. So, recap muna tayo in your grade 7. So, ang tawag natin dito is it monomial pa din? Or we can call it as binomial?
Binom.
So, binomial na siya. Because it has two terms na. So, recap muna tayo. Kapag iisa, we can call it as monomial.
Monomial.
Kapag dalawa, it is binomial. Kapag tatlo, trinomial.
Binomial.
Kapag apat pataas,
Polynomial.
polynomial. So, na siya? Monomial, binomial, and trinomial. And then, kapag apat na, we call it as polynomial. Ayan. So, 3x plus 12. So, each term, ang sabi niya doon, factor out. So, paano magiging factor out natin dito sa 3x plus 12? Get the factor muna of 3x. So, 3 times x. Ayan. And then si 12 naman. So sa 12, pwedeng 3 times